We're not milking them anymore.
It's been probably 6 weeks since I milked last. And this is why. But not for the reason you might think. Yes, it's a little bear. It's a little white bear. Our baby started showing signs that something wasn't going well with him physically. He stopped gaining weight. He was having issues with his stomach. Even though he's exclusively breastfed, we knew something wasn't right. We've never had this issue with our other kids. So we took him to our doctor, and what we all kind of decided, because I was Googling, was he has a milk soy protein allergy. That means for the last 9 weeks, I haven't been drinking any milk or eating any soy products. So he isn't exposed to them either. Why are you looking at me?
Okay. There's somebody seems
Somebody's in heat.
somebody seems to be in heat here.
We're never going to be able to tell now.
There's a lot of Humpty Dumpty going on. This is too short for me.
I like the squat though.
I know, I have to squat to me. We have 5 kids, so noticing something different about his growth obviously had us worried, trying to figure out what was going on. And this actually started back when we were doing a lot of the videos you just watched, the big project here. So we didn't really know exactly what was going on, but we're seeing a couple doctors. Since then we've been to a couple specialists. And yeah, it's one of those things where unfortunately we don't have a concrete black and white answer. And one of the things that we've seen as parents of 5 children, but this is another instance of it, is you know, doctors are practicing medicine, so nobody has some hard and fast answers. We don't know 100% if it is milk that he's allergic to. We don't know if it is soy he's allergic to. All we know is that 90%, 80% of the allergies
are milk and soy.
If you see a baby who's showing signs of a food allergy, 80 or a really high percentage is that it's going to be milk and soy. And so we decided,
to the proteins.
Kay decided, weeks and weeks ago, she was going to stop drinking milk to see if that improved things with him.
Has it fixed the problem? Not yet. So right now I'm on an extremely limited diet, a total elimination diet they call it, of very basic foods. Hello. Yeah. To try to figure out exactly what is bothering him. And it's indirect, it's bothering him through me. So that's why I have to cut stuff out.
Now hold up, don't start the GoFundMe. Don't be this isn't something to be too overly concerned about. This is something, food allergies in babies is common. It's not an extremely rare thing. It's rarer in breastfed babies, like he is, but it does happen. And it is something that he will grow out of. Hopefully by the time he's a year old. Some grow out of it as soon as 6 months old, which would mean we'd already be out of the problem. This guy is dedicated to the cause though, and we'll see. Hopefully by the time he's a year old, we won't have to worry about this. So nothing long-term that's gonna hurt him long-term, but it is something that right now we have to actively be working on improving and figuring out what's bugging his system so that he can get the nutrients he needs to grow so he can be a good farm helper eventually. Right? Not just a farm hinderer.
I was still milking whenever we needed it because someone goes through a lot of milk with his coffees. I was milking still for Austin for his coffees, and then he decided it was too cruel to sit beside me every morning and just rave about how delicious the ladybug milk was. So as of last week,
Luna was not impressed by my the idea that I would be drinking milk. We have morning coffee together every morning. And we sit and we enjoy our coffee and we talk about the day and our plans and our videos and our channel and our kids and everything else. And it's one of our favorite times of the day. And the best part of waking up Ooh, that first cup of coffee. And I'm what you call demonstrative.
He's enthusiastic.
So having my morning coffee is, I'm like, oh, Ladybug's milk is so good. And
I think he finally realized that wasn't
a
loving thing to do, to sit beside me as I'm drinking my herbal tea, which is great.
With
but
no anything.
Just not the same.
No.
So as of last week, he started to eat the same thing I'm eating for solidarity. Because I was really angry last week.
Okay, so just so you know why she's really angry. I mean, you would be angry too if all you were eating is venison and lettuce and venison. That's like almost all you're eating right now, right? I mean,
this week especially, because we're really trying to figure out what's going on, so we're getting to a super basic diet.
The idea of a total elimination diet is you take out almost all the food that could possibly bother somebody with allergies, and then you slowly add them back, and when you start seeing negative effects, then you know what actually bothers them. And with these kid situations, it could be almost anything. So Kay is eating almost nothing. I was eating almost everything. And you know, if she was doing it for a week or 2 or 3 or 4, you know, but this is gonna be a long-term thing, and she's cooking one meal for herself and then another meal for me, and it just didn't seem nice. It seemed like it was making it harder on an already hard situation. So I decided, you know what? I'm gonna eat just like you. I could stand to lose a few pounds anyway, and it'll be healthy, and hopefully together as a team we can figure out what he's allergic to, or eventually he'll just outgrow the problem and we'll all get back to eating donuts again.
Now, goat's milk wouldn't help the situation, so goat's milk, sheep's milk, all the animal milks, 90% these babies still react to all those milk. They do have formula options that are super broken down, so babies with this kind of intolerance can digest them better. But the Academy of Breastfeeding Medicine recommends, if you can, to keep breastfeeding and do an elimination diet if it's practical for your situation, because he's still getting a lot of the benefits of breast milk.
And by the way, apple cider vinegar won't help, so.
No, nor DE.
And DE won't help either, sorry. I just gotta say, you know, I love our Ladybug milk, and she's in milk right now. We've been waiting a long time for this. I love her milk. There's no better milk I've ever had. It is not easy to come off of that. My morning latte, I love it. 5 kids, and I was trying to grab you. This woman who I'm about to compliment, but I startled. You okay?
Yes.
How'd he fall? He's in his trap.
You were going like,
so, yeah, I was trying to grab you. This woman here, 5 children, 5 pregnancies, never once made me do solidarity through 5 pregnancies. I was always able to have a beer. So I feel like this one's like, you know what? I had 5 pregnancies and no solidarity. I can do this.
Now, I could keep milking. We could freeze the milk. We could, you know, feed the chickens with the milk. There's so many things we could do with the milk. But I don't have to milk right now because the calves are keeping up with it. And it's just, it's just too much. I forget we have this. We just throw them in this washer.
Yeah.
Les and I are both covered in mud because where we've been working is mucky and muddy and things. I've lost my gloves. I think they're back there. Milking in winter also has its specific challenges. Good job! There's getting to the barn, trudging through the snow. There's also, now that we're milking with a machine, there's some specific challenges that come with that. The pump gets cold, doesn't want to run. Pulsator will get cold, doesn't want to run. That was one of the things that I thought a lot about before we invested in a machine, was how are we going to deal with it in the winter time? There's not any convenient food I can eat right now, so everything has to be made fresh. There's lots of meat to cook, vegetables to make. Kitchen prep and cooking now is taking up a lot of my time. Plus, Mr. 7 months old wants to be glued to me constantly. Milking, I just can't do it. And I think that's an important thing to say, because sometimes people look at us as homesteaders and they're like, wow, you guys are awesome, you're superhuman doing it. No, like, I can't milk right now. It's too much. And it's okay to say that, especially because it won't harm the cows in any way if I don't milk. But mentally, physically, emotionally, I just can't.
I put it next to this thing for a reason. You don't like it there?
I'm just gonna throw a few in here.
Okay. But I had it right next to this thing for a reason.
Because then when you dump it out, it goes there.
Okay. Well, you...
For nice weather. Like a...
The fussiest he's been in this thing.
I could take him.
Get a little bit of this troublemaker.
Watch the cows. And a shout out to Austin, who, when I came in last week and said, I'm selling everything, I can't do this anymore. I'm sure there's some other parents out there who can relate when your kid's going through like a physical problem, a medical problem, and you can't figure out what it is. It consumes you. Like, this has consumed me mentally. I can't think of anything else. So when, little Kath over here got a limp, it just set me over the edge. I couldn't deal with it anymore. But Austin came out. He put down the gravel to make it more comfortable for the cows so they wouldn't be in the mud all the time, so we wouldn't be worried about mastitis or hurting hooves. And this is the first time I've come out with him to do the chores. He's been doing them all, been doing the cows, and it looks great. Now I can come out here and instead of looking at it like, yeah, you love this, don't you? Like another another stress I have to deal with. It can be a few minutes of relaxation during the day. So thank you.
That's nice.
This one. Ladybug makes some spoiled babies. We noticed Grasshopper had a limp, and we've been keeping an eye on it. She's a little too old for joint ill or more of the congenital stuff that calves are born with. So our best guess is she sprained it, she bruised it on the gravel or in the mud. Of course today it's looking better, but always something with cows and kids. Remember that. If you're going into cows, it'll always be something.
There is always something with calves. Back when Luna was first born, we had a big problem with her and we weren't sure what it was. Click here to watch that video. You can follow that whole story, see how we solved that issue. It's always something.